One in year 5, please excuse my dodgy hair today. Your fluency today is about counting on, so do these mentally, do them as quick as you can, think methodically what's the link between each column. If you're doing it timed, then it's coming up, and if you're going to pause it, then just work your way through. Your time starts now. Okay, so for the first challenge, we were figuring out A. Now we can see that they are on a straight line, so we needed to do 34 plus 67, which gave us 101, and then because they're on a straight line, we can take this away from 180, which gives us 79 degrees, so that's A. Then for B, they are also on a straight line, just underneath, so we did 180, take away 67, and it gave us 113 degrees, so that's B. Now on to the second problem. To find out A for this one, we can see that they are on a straight line, but there's already a 90-degree angle that's shown there. So we know that A plus 65 is going to equal 90. So we can do the inverse, 90 take away 65, which gives us 25 degrees. So that's A. Then for B, again it's on the straight line, it's just underneath. So we did 180, subtract 51, and that gave us 129 degrees. We can check both of these by adding them all together, and each one should come to 360 degrees. Well done if you got those. Today we're carrying on investigating angles, but today we're investigating angles that are cross parallel lines. Now, I've got 3 pairs of parallel lines on the board, okay? Parallel just means that they're 2 lines that will never, ever, ever meet. And we normally show this by some little arrows. So if I draw some little arrows like this, that shows that that's a pair of parallel lines. They must come together in a pair. These are parallel and these are parallel. So it just shows that these little arrows, that line could go on and on and on forever, but they would never ever meet, okay? They'd never cross. So that's what a parallel line is. Hopefully we can recognise that in squares and rectangles, they both have 2 pairs of parallel lines. So in my square, this line is parallel to this line, okay? They are equal distance apart, they'll never meet. And this line is parallel to this line, exactly the same. Okay, the same with my rectangle. This is 1 pair of parallel lines, and then it has another pair of parallel lines here. Okay, so there's some facts that we're going to need to know for when we're problem solving today. You might be wondering what parallel lines have to do with angles, and that's where the next bit of learning comes. When we have a pair of parallel lines, so shown here by my arrows, they're never going to meet. If we have a line that crosses both parallel lines, then we create a few angles. Those angles are special because the opposite angles are equal. So, this angle, the opposite side of the line that crosses the parallel line, is this angle here. So those both red angles, whatever they calculate, they are equal. Okay, they are exactly the same angle. And it works the other side of the line as well. So this angle here will be exactly the same as this angle here. Okay, because it is opposite, it's on the other side of the line that crosses between my parallel lines. This works for whichever way around your parallel lines are. So why don't you have a go at drawing these parallel lines or any set of parallel lines and showing that the opposite angles are equal. So for this pair of parallel lines, we have this angle here is the same as the other side of the parallel of the line that's crossing the parallel lines here. So that angle and that angle are the same. We also have this angle and the angle that is opposite that line and this angle here are the same. Okay, so hopefully you've shown that on yours. So now let's think about how we can use that knowledge to help us solve problems with angles. Here I have my pair of parallel lines that are never going to meet. And I have a line that intercrosses or crosses over both of those lines. Okay? I've been given this angle, which is 65 degrees, an acute angle, and I need to figure out both this angle and this angle here. So, first of all, how can I figure out this angle? Well, using our previous knowledge, we know that this is a straight line. So this angle and this angle should total 180 degrees. So I can do 180, take away 65 degrees, which is the angle that we know, and that leaves us with 115 degrees. So this angle here must be 115 degrees. So now let's think about our rule about the opposite angles being equal. If this is 115 degrees, this side of my parallel line, then I also know that this angle here is 115 degrees. So then I also know that this purple angle is equal to this angle, which is opposite, which is 65 degrees, because both sets of angles are on a straight line and they must add up to 180 degrees. Time to pause the video and I want you to have a go at solving this one. It's quite tricky, so I'd recommend you drawing out the problem first and then starting to problem solve. So think about the information that you've been given. We've got two right angles, some parallel lines, and we've been given this angle here, which is 59 degrees. So think about out of that information which is relevant and what have we learnt today that's going to help us as well. The easiest place to start with this one is to think about our parallel lines. So here are my parallel lines and this line cuts across them. So I know that if this angle here is 59 degrees, then the angle that is opposite to that is this angle, so this angle must also be 59 degrees. That will now help me to figure out this missing angle. The rule that's going to help me here is that both of these angles are on a straight line, so they are going to need to add to 180 degrees. So let's do 180 degrees because it's on a straight line. Take away the 59 degrees because we know that's that angle. What we have left is 121 degrees, so that's this angle here. A way to check that is another little fact. This is a quadrilateral, so it's a shape that has four sides. Inside of a quadrilateral, all of the angles will total 360 degrees, and we can check that by adding together my four angles. So well done if you got that. The next one to pause and try is this rectangle here. So think about what you know about a rectangle and its properties. This angle is 119 degrees. I want you to find angle A and find angle B. The best starting place for this one is to start with angle A. I've been given this angle is 119 degrees. So to find out angle A, I know that this is a straight line, so they are both going to equal 180 degrees. So I need to do 180, take away 119 degrees, gives us 61 degrees. So A is 61 degrees. Now that also helps me with B, because thinking about our opposite angles, these are parallel lines. I know this because it's a rectangle, so this one and this one are parallel lines. We do that to show that they're different. So this is parallel to this and this is parallel to this. This line cuts across them, so if that angle this side is 61 degrees, then on the other side of my line, B must also be 61 degrees. I could also fill this one in, because this would also be 119 degrees. So well done if you got those. Last one's a bit trickier, so I want you to draw it out again. So we have a square, it's not perfectly accurate. We have a line cutting through the corner of my square over here, creating this angle of 47 degrees. I want you to figure out both of these angles. So think about all the things that we've learnt to help you with this one. Right, let's go through it. This is a square. So I know that I've got this pair of parallel lines, and I've also got this pair of parallel lines. I also know that in a square it has 4 right angles. So that means that these two angles, my yellow angle plus my green angle, must equal 90 degrees because that's a right angle. Now I don't have any information to work those out yet, so I have to look over here. If this angle here is 47 degrees, then I know that the opposite angle to that, because these are parallel lines, remember, is the same as 47 degrees. So my green angle is 47 degrees. So now I know that my yellow angle plus my green angle, which we now know is 47 degrees, equals 90. So now we can do 90 degrees, take away the 47, which leaves us with 43 degrees. So my yellow angle is 43 degrees. Really well done if you got that. That's it from me today. Your task is another quiz on Purple Mash, and it's consolidating all that we've learnt so far about angles. So thinking about the parallel lines, angles on a straight line total 180 degrees, and you might even have one about angles around a point total 360 degrees. So you need to keep all of that learning fresh. Good luck. If you have any problems, then please email us or post on the class blog. And then today's challenge is coming up as well. I shall see you tomorrow.